The Biological Farming Roundtable podcast helps farmers explore innovative, low-input, regenerative and profitable farming systems. The Biological Farming Roundtable is sponsored by NutriSoil, an award-winning biological liquid fertiliser made from a big worm farm. NutriSoil's purpose is to empower farmers to produce life-enriching food. My name is Nikala Maddock. I work at NutriSoil. I envisage a future where farmers are rewarded for producing nutrient-rich foods and consumers have this easily available to them. Hello everybody, Nikala Maddock here from the Biological Farming Roundtable podcast. Today we have a very special event. It is an event to promote WormFest 2024, which is happening on the 21st and the 22nd of March. And today with me I have my favourite co-host, David Hardwick, who will also be co-hosting the facilitation at WormFest 2024. And is known for his very fun, dry humour. So welcome, David.
G'day, Nikala. Thanks for having us. G'day, everyone.
Yep, always fun. And we also have internationally renowned soil scientist Joel Williams from Integrated Soils. And Joel is coming from us today from South Australia, but resides in Canada. Is that right, Joel?
Yes, that's right. Yep.
Yes.
Pleasure to be here. Great to see you again.
Yeah, wonderful. So you're very big on the speaking circuit of Regen Ag at the moment. So we're really grateful that you could come to WormFest.
So, Nikala, WormFest, you've been talking it up. So why did you decide to put on this WormFest?
Yeah, so interesting. It actually started when I was in Tasmania with Joel. So Joel was doing an event for us over there. And we were out one night with Robin Tate, and he was really trying to encourage us to go to Ground Swell. And I think Robin had been before as well. And so I had a look at it and I thought, wow, that looks just fantastic. What an awesome event. And you know what? We could probably do something like that in Australia. And I knew that NutriSoil had really good event skills. So I guess that's how WormFest was born. Yeah, we just went, let's try and start something like that up.
Let's do it. I mean, there's been biological farming conferences and a couple of regen forums of different types, but making worms the centre of attention is going to be good. And so really, what are you trying to get out of it, I guess, because we're trying to get lots of people together. What's your goals and what are you trying to achieve, apart from having a party?
Yeah, so I have been asked this. Yeah, you know, why a festival? Like people say, am I coming to some type of hippie event? Well, it might be a bit like that, but no, not really. But we are making it really festive because I think you're the one that's told me this, David, is that if people are, you know, not ready for change, they're not open and listening. You know, if people, you know, have their arms crossed in an event and you can see that it's challenging for them. I want people to have lots of fun, and when they're fun, they're more receptive and they're open to change. So I think, and agriculture is going through a very big change at the moment, and there's just going to be so much more change coming for them. But those changes are really big opportunities, I think. And I want people to be really excited about those opportunities, be inspired about what they can do, and driven to access those opportunities. You know, before the government says you might have to do this. Yeah, I really think that a festive environment.
Yeah, so a bit of inspiration, a bit of social networking, and then giving people a relaxed space to think about those big decisions of change that really are made better when people are relaxed and in a safe, positive space, I guess, to think through the difficult challenges. Great, sounds really good. I guess, Joel, you're coming along to give us a bit of inspiration, but also a bit of knowledge. What do you see as some of the big challenges or, opportunities, first of all, like they're emerging in this whole regenerative ag sort of space?
Yeah, I agree with you all about some of your kind of former comments there. It's quite an exciting time for agriculture, isn't it? There is just so much on the rise at the moment, so many interesting things happening. And I think makes it also very exciting. And it's also very exciting that you're putting on WormFest. I do encourage people to go to Ground Swell all around the world. I talk about Ground Swell and tell farmers and people to go. It is a fantastic event, and it's particularly, it is the social dimension to it. It is the real the positivity, the vibe. There's a real positive energy there at that event, and that does help with the learning. I agree. It's that social interaction, and all combined with really valuable educational information. And that's so I'm very happy to see you guys having put on this event. And from that, the opportunities there are many, and I think we'll get a good showcase of those when we come to WormFest. But I think the obvious one, particularly here in Australia, and is all of the discussions around the carbon markets and natural capital, and some of the biodiversity kind of discussions, all of those aspects that are happening at the moment. There's obviously some big opportunities there, and there's a lot of information out there on that, I think, as well. And everybody's still learning about that, and how best we're going to do these things, how we're going to measure and manage, and how do we increase these things. But so I think there's there's no doubt there's some complexity there in amongst all of that too. But it's certainly a fantastic opportunity for farmers at the moment.
Yeah.
And
So coming,
and I think just then beyond that also.
Sorry, I was going to say, sort of driving down to the bread and butter of growing crops and pastures. Where do you see the emerging kind of aspects of that side of ag?
Yeah, that's right. And I think that with the kind of the discussions that we're having these days about soil health and regenerative biological farming, all of these terms that we use, that one of the things that a lot of them have all in common is this discussion around reducing inputs, and therefore being more sustainable. And I think that that's a great opportunity, because of course that translates into more profitability. And of course that's a very important aspect for all farming businesses. And I think that we are beginning to have a better understanding of soils, and how to work with them better in a more sustainable way, how to leverage that soil health and all of the fertility that's in there, and leverage that towards production, and therefore towards profitability. So I think that, with farmers typically receiving very low prices from supermarkets, and for example, and a lot of other middlemen and things in the picture, it's great that I think we have some opportunities for farmers to be clawing back some of that value, and also reducing their cost of production, and therefore making themselves more profitable. And the upside of that is that it is also a win for sustainability, for the environment. It is one of those examples where we can find a win-win, win for profit, win for economics, and also win for the environment. So I think that's also one of the kind of exciting opportunities for me.
Just coming back from North Queensland, we work with the cane farmers that are on the regenerative path, and that's the win-win that they're sort of seeing. And I guess, increasing their nutrient cycling capacity of their soil, so they could use a lot less fertilizers to maintain yields, is really the holy grail for them. And they live next to the barrier reef, so it's all about water quality and social license to farm. But I guess too, when you focus on that side of the regen ag space rather than the natural capital as much, you're in control. They're your decisions, and you're in control of that soil and those paddocks. So you kind of, it's up to you. Whereas the natural capital and carbon markets and things, there's a lot of other people influencing that you don't really have a lot of control over. So coming back to the bread and butter of it is probably a really good idea in terms of profit focus.
Yeah, that's right.
So you'll be talking.
I think farmers.
Sorry, Nicola. You'll be thinking, Joel, talking a bit about biostimulants and some of the other kind of tactics people can use to grow plants better and build soils.
Yeah. So Nicola sent me the agenda for Wormfest, the program for the few days, and I saw my name in lots of places, and and
the first thing you said, "Oh, that's a lot of Joel." I said, "Okay, well, let's trim it back."
I mean, I don't mind, but I like hearing from other people, so I'm sick of hearing from myself. So, so obviously, I have a different perspective. But no, yeah, I see. There's lots of time slots for me to have a chat. So that's great. And one of the things that Nikala, asked me to talk a little bit about was amino acids, and that's because that's definitely one of my kind of also one of my personal, a little bit my favorite topics lately, and that came up in our lecture down in Tasmania a year or so ago, and so that's an area that I've been talking a lot about lately,
Mm,
and so and I think that's one that's maybe a little underappreciated. I think there's a few kind of subtle, important points in there. I think probably most farmers are familiar with amino acids. Probably many of them would just put them in that general biostimulant category. That old word, biostimulant. There's lots of very a huge diversity and array of compounds that sit under that one
mm,
category. But often we use that word to describe them all. I think very unfairly. Um, but you know what? Underneath that, amino acids as a kind of trendy thing in the biostimulant world these days. Underneath that, there's actually real value into these compounds towards plant nutrition. And particularly, it has big relevance around nitrogen management and protein synthesis, because, of course, proteins are made up of amino acids. Aminos
yeah,
are the building blocks to those proteins. And I think our farmers in the audience will all appreciate the value of protein in that context. It really can improve the quality of the food and feed. And so, really, by supplying amino acids, there's a whole host of other benefits that maybe we will talk about at Wormfest, and I'll go into some of the depths on this. But even just at the surface level, topping up those organic forms of nitrogen for the plant, it helps the plant build much better quality protein. So really help to build that quality aspect of plants. But amino acids can do all sorts of other things in terms of helping plant stress, alleviating plant stresses. And there's a lot of really good evidence on this. For example, things like drought stresses, for example, salinity stress, so all sorts of different stresses. And those aminos can also help to build specific kind of proteins that help the plant deal with those stresses, help them overcome those
yeah,
stresses. So from that point of view, they have a lot of kind of benefits, and they are a very efficient form of nitrogen for the plant to use. It's very easy for the plant to make use of those amino acids as compared to some of our inorganic forms, in which the plant needs to expend a little bit more energy to kind of process them and make use of
mm,
them. So there's an efficiency gain that comes with amino acids as well.
yeah,
So those are some of the
yep,
highlights, I guess, what I'll be talking about. But we'll take a bit of a deep dive as we go into that lecture on Wormfest. Yeah.
great. Yeah, I mean, there's big changes in agriculture, and one of them is understanding plants and diving deep into physiology and metabolism. And the last 20 years, the revolution in that, along with the other revolutions in ag, is changing agronomy, and plant nutrition and amino acids, I guess, is a big part of that. So that'll be good to dive deep into things and get some pretty heavy duty science. But I guess it's not just about the science, Nikala. There'll be some other stuff going on along, as well as diving in, building our knowledge around this stuff that Joel's covering.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the other opportunities for Regen Ag is direct markets, and we've got some amazing farmers out there that are in that space. The Haggertys, they've got their own direct market for a number of their avenues, including their wool and their flour, their grain, and then we've got Jake Wolke. We've got some of our so we'll have sponsors there, which I'll tell you guys about a little later. But some of the sponsors are actually farmers who are just coming to display their
Mm,
produce, farm to
yeah,
plate. But look, it is going to be an absolutely festive event. So let me tell you some of the fun things that people might expect. So we've got these NutriSoil lanyards. So everyone's going to go away with the NutriSoil lanyard.
yeah. More,
Earthworm Bill, I don't know if anyone's been watching Facebook, but Earthworm Bill is our theme song for the event from the Formidable Vegetables, and they're a really funky band, very festive band, and they won't be there on the day, but they've let us use
I
their
heard
song.
Ed, I heard Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran's
They
actually written that song. Is that true? That Ed Sheeran wrote that song that's getting famous from? Yeah.
Well, it could be
Okay. Fair
possible.
enough.
It could be possible,
Yeah.
David.
Do you know who Ed Sheeran is?
And look, well, I
Yeah.
do. Do you, Joel?
Yes, of course.
I have no idea why you do, though,
Yeah.
David. It
I'm
really
surprised
confuses
about it.
me.
No, that's great. So we've got some good music.
Yeah. Look, we're going to have lots of fun with music. Everyone's going to be getting a really stylish hat. You'll get to choose which hat you want. We've got all different colours. They're made from hemp. Well, part hemp. I couldn't afford a fully hemp one, but a fair bit of hemp in them. And, just promoting healthy soil and healthy food. We are having demonstrations at lunchtime. So as well as our presentations, at lunchtime you can grab your food and watch how to, we're actually having live demonstrations on how to make a David Johnson Sue from Beck, who works at the Prospect Farm. She has 25 David Johnson Sues going at one time. So she's going to be building one of those for us. We have Rob making a extract machine from an IBC and a fire pump, so people can see how they can actually use compost and worm castings or whatever they want to put in their extract machine and make this really economical extract, which people add to their nutrients or to their biostimulants. What else? We have a photo booth, would you believe, with Earthworm Bill there. So that's going to be really funky. We have...
I reckon Earthworm Bill's probably going to be Darren in a suit, and he'll be really hot. So you're going to have to give him water so he doesn't so H&S.
You have no idea, David. It is just going to be the biggest surprise.
As long as it's not, as long as you don't ask
We've
me,
just got... Look, I've
don't put
even...
me in a suit because it gets really sweaty in those suits. So I'll just do that.
We've looked at all of
Yeah.
those issues. Don't
Yeah.
worry. You know those suits that have the fans in them? They're like $4,000 or something. So we've looked
Fans.
at them. Don't
Wow.
worry. There's some big stuff going on.
No, we'll just cut a hole in it.
And look, I've
Yeah.
even got my Earthworm Bill earrings on
Mm.
today. So there is nothing that has been left unturned. We have a coffee cart. We have a bar that has worm cocktails. So no worms are going to be in the cocktails, but is based on worms.
Yeah. I was going to say, otherwise
and
vegans couldn't enjoy it. And you've got to have mocktails as well, because there are people that, like myself, that are boring and don't drink alcohol. So you've got to have a mocktail
it
going.
is very trendy to not drink alcohol
Yeah.
these days,
You know, I'm
David.
ahead
So
of the
do not be worried about
I'm ahead
that.
of the curve. I must be ahead of the curve.
And I'm sure there'll be some sour beers there because I know Joel loves his sour beers. And look, if it's a beautiful night, we will be having dinner on the Thursday evening in the Worm Windrose. So forget about dinner in the vineyards or dinner in the orchard. This is dinner by the worms, if it's a nice
Yeah.
night. Otherwise, we're in the
I
market.
won't ask what type of
So
protein
look,
will
no,
be
there's
served. Yeah,
bunting.
that'll be good.
Again, please do not pick the worms and put them on your plate. I'll be requesting that on the night. But no, look, the speakers are so diverse. We've got motivational speakers. We've got, look, Joel going into the science of things. David, you were handpicked as a facilitator. I know we do lots together, but you just keep pulling these farmer experiences in agronomy, and your knowledge in biostimulants is going to be really amazing on the day.
We're bringing along.
Marketing
Sorry,
sessions.
Nicola. We're also bringing along, Soilland Food will bring along some non-worm invertebrates that live in the soil, because, as you know, there are more other things in the soil apart from worms. So we'll bring some springtails and mites and a few things like that as well.
Yeah, great. And therefore the cocktails, or
No, there'll just be people can have a look at them. Or we might have someone in a suit, like a
also
Colin Bowler
cocktails?
suit or something. That may be a world first, a Colin Bowler. Anyway, we'll work something out. But yeah, it'll be great.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a really fun event. People are really getting excited about it. And also we're collaborating with lots of other companies who are really trying to help farmers with this transition. So you can make your own biostimulant. You could have your own worm farm, or you could buy a worm liquid. You could, make your own bio fermentations, or we've got companies here who have really good carbon-based fertilizer type of products. So there's something for everyone, and we're pulling it all together. We just want to make sure that people feel totally supported in the opportunities that are to come, so that these farms thrive, the farming communities thrive, the farming families thrive, and we embrace this change with just a real confident knowledge that we can do
Yeah,
it.
no, it sounds great. It's going to be a really good bash. It's all about everyone supporting each other,
Yeah,
learning together,
yeah,
adapting everything to your farming system, your farm business, your climate, your landscape, and making it work for the future. It sounds really good. Look forward to meeting
yeah,
Joel and hearing
yeah.
hearing him, Joel here, Joel there, Joel everywhere. By the sound of it, it'll be good. He's never been. Have you been to Albury Wodonga before, Joel? No.
No, I haven't actually. No, it'll be
Yeah.
my yeah, it will be my first time, and it will be the second last talk that I'm giving on this 7 week tour of
Yeah,
Australia. So
you'll be.
I'll be getting close to the end. So I'll be looking to unwind and have a good time as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, great. No,
We will make sure that you do that,
yeah.
Joel.
Why don't we send Colin Bowler Kate to the
Yeah.
airport to greet him, like in the suit, to pick him up, or Earthworm Bill, like he can go out to the
There's,
airport and pick Joel up.
I will say, David, these things are not out of the question. There's
Great.
some pretty crazy things going on at this event.
Okay, sounds
And
good.
look, imagine if the Wormfest became something like Ground Swell, that Joel would go around all the different countries and say, you have to go to Wormfest. Imagine that.
Sounds like a good
Yeah.
target.
True.
Think big.
True.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah. Good life's aspiration. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I know, David, you were up at 3. Joel, you had a really late last night with another convention, and I have bags under my eyes from getting the Wormfest up and going. So I just really appreciate you guys all getting together, and we're going to just get this out there so people can get a vibe of what to expect with the Wormfest. And yeah, we really look forward to seeing you guys there.
Thanks, Nicola.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me. Looking forward. Yeah,
So
super looking forward to it as well.
yeah, awesome. All right. See you guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Wormfest 2024 would not be able to go ahead without our supporting partners. These are partners that NutriSoil work with regularly, helping farmers to produce healthy soil and food profitably. The delivery of nutrition with biology, amino acids, and plant extracts are the most efficient way to minimise high synthetic fertiliser use that can get leached into waterways, volatilise into the atmosphere, and cost farmers not only in dollars but in soil health decline. We are proud to be working with Best Farming Systems, a family-owned company based out of Goulburn that produce plant extracts, fulvic acids, and nutrition fertilisers. Ectol, an Australian company created by farmers for farmers, manufacturing and supplying crop and pasture nutrition, growth promotants, plant protectants, and soil amendments for agriculture and horticulture. Soil Restoration Farming, a coaching and event company who promote healing the planet through agriculture. And as many of you know, Rochelle is my sister-in-law and was an integral part of building the NutriSoil family business. They also have an amazing event coming up on the 5th of March with international speaker Ray Archuleta, regenerating your land and your mindscape. It looks fantastic. We are going, so please check out their website for tickets. Carbon Link, a company helping farmers earn money through carbon credits. Soil Land Food with David Hardwick, who train farmers in grassroots soil health, helping them make their own biofertilizers and compost on farm. David also helps us at NutriSoil with our business strategy and QA. Regen Farming, also my big brother, who helps farmers transition to a more sustainable and regenerative farming system one-on-one. Vic No Till, a fabulous group that support farmers through educating and events in new age ways to be regenerative as well as profitable. Down Under Covers with Grant Sims leading the way in being Australia's leading supplier of cover crop seeds. Where would we be without healthy cover crops? And Soil Connect, who are our media partners and could be your media partner to help you promote your regenerative produce direct to market. We really hope that you connect with all of these companies at WormFest 2024 on the 21st and 22nd of March on the border of New South Wales and Victoria, just near Albury-Wodonga, and at the NutriSoil Worm Farm.
Hey, I'm Earthworm Bill, Earthworm Bill. Remember me when you have a spill.